All right, 18 minutes before we say goodbye here on Morning Live, let's just shift our focus a little bit to some fashion news now. Of course, following a highly successful and well-received inaugural program in 2016, the Buyel'Ekhaya Fashion Development Program has returned for its second year and is currently underway. The program focuses on mentoring 10 promising designers from the Eastern Cape. Buyel'Ekhaya ensures that the participants and overall winners are exposed to various aspects of the fashion business. The organizer, Hlubi Mazwai, and two of the aspiring designers, Banoyolo and Nwabisa Setipa, and Nomfuneko Kenyane, they join us this morning to talk to us more about this festival. Good morning to you, ladies, and thank you so much for brightening up the studio this morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you so much indeed. Ma'am Hlubi, let's start with you. What made you come up with this idea of starting a Buyel'Ekhaya?
Buyel'Ekhaya is in two phases. The first one is the fashion show. But we've had the Buyel'Ekhaya festival, but I think today I really want to focus on the fashion show.
Yes.
Buyel'Ekhaya was started in 2009, the festival. But we needed to give some meaning, to the whole point of coming back home. What is it that you do? You need to go back home and plow back. And how do you do it most? And I think there are two reasons for this fashion development thing. The Eastern Cape is known as the poorest province in the country, officially so, State South Africa. So you find a number of unemployed young people. That's number one. But number two, traditionally, it's been one of those provinces that are very rich in cultural heritage. So in order to express this fully, we thought that we need to look at these aspiring designers. And I think everyone knows now that the African fabric and fashion has taken center stage globally. I mean, I don't need to tell you that Beyonce, for instance, Tula Cindy has dressed Beyonce, some are dressed by David Klein. Our designers in South Africa and just Africa at large are really dressing some of these celebrities and eminent persons abroad. Now, the last one being Louis Vuitton, using the Lesotho blanket. So I don't think anyone now needs to sit back and start wondering. The African cloth fabric fashion is there. So it's for everyone to take it. And what's best but to prepare our young designers to actually take advantage of this and make business out of it, and also put South Africa on the global map through fashion, through expressing it in fashion.
True, true.
Yes.
Now, ladies, let's have a chat. The program, how has the experience been thus far?
We've been here for 10 days, but it feels like we've been here for a month. The information overload, we are learning so much. And it actually started a month ago because David went to East London to give us a workshop, it took the whole day. We learned so much on that day, and we have implemented all those things we learned. We've been executing all of these things the whole week. We've been learning the business side of fashion. It's amazing.
Yeah. And what have you learned thus far?
Okay. What we've learned exactly is that in the fashion industry, as designers, we need to come up with an authentic fashion, because now you find out in the market that there is a load of fast fashion and unsustainable fashion, meaning that it's so dangerous to our consumers. It's fast fashion, and then now it needs to sell fast.
And
then
get out of the market.
And then they bring other cheap stuff. I mean, unsustainable, it translates the cheap and fast.
Like Aboma 5 roses that we've recently seen, jeans with 5 roses.
Yes, that's fast fashion.
That's fast fashion.
Yes.
So you need to come up, what you've learned is that you need to come up with something that's sustainable.
Yes.
Something that I can wear like 3 years later.
Yeah,
Yes.
and another thing about fast fashion, the child labor that goes behind it, it's not good. It's not good. The way the dyes, the factories that dye the jeans, that water that dyes the jeans, they put it back to the rivers, the pollution that happens, it's a whole lot of mess.
Ma'am Hlubi, aren't you just proud sitting here and listening to what they have acquired just in 10 days?
But it also talks to the passion. It talks to how seriously and deeply they take this fashion thing. And I always say there's frivolity and there's meaning. I think if you look at this, they talk about sustainability. They talk about how you contribute towards environmental friendly practices, how then you practice good labor practices, you don't use children. You know, this fast thing of turnaround time, 12 hours, and obviously people working awkward hours under adverse conditions. You need to take your time. I suppose you don't really have to rush the pennies. You take your time, and then your pieces become timeless, and they really answer to a deeper meaning than just taking it out there cheap and it's gone. Bonfire of the vanities, you know, there's no staying power.
I mean, the festival in its second year this year, where would you like to see it in a few years?
The fashion development program is in its second year, and it is seriously development. I think when you look at what we put into it, I want to see in another 5 years, for instance, us getting participation through Africa, because I think we need to actually get involved with other African countries, sharing of ideas, sharing of fabrics, sharing of good practices, because then as Africa united, we can actually export whatever we have, you know. And I think there's more quality there that we could get out of just working as a singular entity, South African designers, and you know, and also just being so myopic and inwardly focused. So I think they need to broaden their horizons beyond the country.
We're going to talk about the previous winners and what happens with the current winners, but I just want to go back to the ladies here. The preparations, how are the preparations going for the fashion show in December?
We are done with the 2 garments. We came to design. It's 2 garments inspired by it. We've given a theme. It's going back to our roots.
So that's part of the criteria.
Yes. Okay. So we've been designing these outfits, and we made them over the weekend. 2 outfits are done. We did a photo shoot yesterday. It was fun.
Are you guys proud with what you saw?
Yes,
with your work.
Yeah.
Are you happy?
We are.
All right.
Yeah.
So the previous, what happens? What happened with the previous winners and what happens with
All
the
right, I think I need to mention this because this is not a commercial entity. You know, the fashion processing and manufacturing, FPM in SETA, the fiber processing and manufacturing SETA, FPM in SETA, is a partner here. Now that comes from the Higher Education Department of Skills Development. So once they have gone and they go, and I always say it's not competition. It's just benchmarking and saying, okay, these managed this time to take out what their educators think are the best. So that the winners then go, they get adjudicated, and then you find the winners because they display their garments, 2 garments each. Then they go to the fashion show and we take the winners. Now the FPNM SETA has been generous enough who approached them and said, we can't just end here. So they go now on an internship program, which is 6 months.
All right.
So after that,
so it's not just about the competition.
No. The competition is not an end in itself.
All right.
There's more development.
We have to leave it at that. There's so much happening in the news front. But thank you so much for coming through, and all the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for
a quick break here on Morning Live, and we back to Zimbabwe. Stay tuned.